Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and industry colleagues. I will continue down the path of Mr. Karonis as well, discussing about 5G. For us in Ericsson, we look at 5G as the network that will serve a true network society. Normally, when it comes to all the previous access technologies like 2G, 3G, 4G, we've always been very much focused on the left-hand side of these indicators. So a lot about the enhanced user rates and very much a big focus on the capacity increment. And of course, 5G will deliver on those. But what is more unique this time is the right-hand side, where we will see much more lower device cost, broader coverage, longer battery lifetime, and very important latency. And all of this will be supported by a mechanism where we have interconnection between the access, the transport, the cloud, the applications, the management and orchestration, working together end-to-end to have the best availability and reliability. So this technology will enable the three categories that were shown previously as well. We have enhanced mobile broadband, which we all are very familiar with. We have the massive machine type communication, which is about opening up a very broad amount of sensors in the network, in the radio cells, and having a very long battery time for that. Used primarily, for instance, in agriculture type of services, fleet management. And then very particular to the capabilities of 5G is to have the mission-critical machine type communications. And here it's about managing real-time processes or remote control of real-time gadgets. We will see this coming up very much interesting in the industry context, enabling things like intelligent transportation systems, manufacturing, remote operations. So once you have all of these capabilities in place, this is what happens. Anything that can be connected will actually be connected. It could be your lamp, your dishwasher, or even your garden. In fact, in the Ericsson studio and headquarters, we have a tree that's been connected for years. If you touch the leaf, it will speak back to you. If you hug the tree, it's a small tree, it will say thank you. But connectivity here is not going to be important only for the sake of it. It's about finding a critical benefit to it. Either there's a productivity element or a cost saving. And this leads us today to the most asked question when it comes to 5G. And that is very much pertaining to what is the business case of 5G? And what are we really trying to resolve? So that's on everybody's mind. I think we need to find the answer in light of the spirit that 5G is going to be introduced at a very opportune time when all companies and enterprises are digitizing their businesses. That is really the key here. And very few companies will realize the full benefit of this digitization unless they can have all of their assets and ecosystem completely connected and wirelessly so. So only when that happens do we actually unleash the full potential of IoT. And that is why it is so important to start now in this community to explore the different business needs and opportunities that industries are requiring when we do this digitization. So in order to do so, we started this program called 5G for Sweden 2 years ago. And this was then focused on Sweden as a market, getting together big industry players and leading research and academia together to enable new type of ICT solutions that are then using 5G. So this has been ongoing now for 2 years, trying to increase the competitiveness of the different industries. We have mining, we have transportation, we have fleets, we have shipping, and manufacturing. And once these companies come together, they've created a lot of research that can be utilized across different industries, and they've created also a lot of pilots together that we will be using. So to show you some examples, all of these are happening. Let me just select one of them. which we are doing with ABB, which is an industrial optimization specialist. And that is to study the availability of haptic communication in an industrial context. How can you realistically control a robot and that will give you haptic feedback? This is now ongoing. Another example, imagine, is to have augmented reality to assist you in the factory with a display that shows you how to actually connect the different pieces together, which will eliminate or lower at least the amount of mistakes and reduce the operation maintenance. So there's a lot of ongoing industrial-based cases here. But it's not only about enabling the fourth industrial revolution. I think we sometimes also forget how important and how impactful 5G will be on the consumer side. Everybody's talking about the AR and VR. I'm sure you've seen some of the demos outside as well. And we see today a lot of the social media like Facebook offering places where you can do your own, take off your own VR selfie and chat. You have Google Daydream where you can go and watch in the museums. And very interestingly is actually these haptic gloves. You put your hand in gloves and it will enable your skin to feel whatever that you're touching in the virtual world. Now these haptic technologies have existed for some while, but with the incumbency of 5G, it will take it mainstream because for the first time, the end-to-end latency of that technology will make haptic gadgets actually faster than our own minds. So it will work seamlessly. There's a lot of examples what you could do with this. My favorite example is if you want to, for instance, learn piano, you put on the glove, and somewhere else you have the teacher who's actually playing the piano, and he will move your hand, and you can actually exercise how to do it. So there is definitely a lot of growth, and I'll show some figures soon. But besides managing usage, we all know that data traffic is accelerating, and we foresee it's going to become 8 times bigger by 2022. We're going to have many more mobile subscriptions to cater for, and many more things that are connected. But besides that, there's an entire new service revenue that is being created, and that is about fixed wireless access, where certain markets are exploring to launch it not only for rural broadband, but even for urban broadband, and also as a pure replacement for the fiber last mile. And in some markets, the business case doesn't fly. In some other markets, the business actually do fly. So this is a study and a report that Ericsson has done together with Arthur D. Little. And we try to estimate what are the revenues that will be generated for the ICT players when you integrate digitization of these industries with 5G. And you can see the result here that it's amounting to a mind-staggering of more than $1,200 billion globally. You can see as well the different CAGR here for all of these different industries. So basically, energy and utilities and manufacturing are the ones that will be the biggest revenue pool. There's also a study related more towards the operators and service providers, and there we found out that they will generate an incremental revenue pool of $582 billion, which represent a 34% increment from the ongoing trajectory today. This report is on our website, so you can download it and you can get a lot of details behind it. Then we put in the numbers for Greece, and you can see that for the same approach, by 2026, there's an estimate of just less than $4 billion of revenue generated by combining digitization and 5G. And please bear in mind, the assumption here is that 5G will be fully commercially available by 2023 with large coverage. So it's quite a substantial numbers we're talking about here. So in terms of timeline, things are happening right now. Standardization are coming. There's drops by end of the year, another drop by next year. There's a lot of pilots are ongoing. We will see more and more pre-commercial trials. And a lot of operators around the world are keen to start launching. Of course, there are major events, such as the Olympic Games, that will do showcases already in 2018 and definitely in 2019. And operators are looking forward launching 5G in the coming 2 to 3 years. The European Commission has also put forward an action plan in terms of the 5G for Europe with quite a strong ambition, and that is to launch a fully commercial 5G service in Europe by end of 2020, so that's just only 3 years away. And also by 2025 have all urban and major terrestrial transport paths have uninterrupted 5G coverage. So it might seem like there's a long time, but you will see that a lot of the key pivotal pilots were happening in the coming 2 years, and that's why it's incredibly important to engage already now to work with those industries and to agree on what type of needs that they require. So that's why we've been taking a very big lead in driving 5G around the world. We have today up to 36 memorandum of understandings with operators to collaborate on this technology, on the different business cases. And we're doing so not in isolation, but in full collaboration with 20 industry partners and over 45 research and academia institutes. And all of this knowledge and skill set is then fed back to our R&D centers so we can develop meaningful 5G that will contribute to business growth. So, in summary, the 3 things I will now leave you with. Number 1, extremely important that we work together in this community on business development and really work hand in hand with the different industries that I mentioned to you before. Number 2, we should never forget the consumer thirst that will always be there for more entertainment and more media. And I'm sure that in a few years, all of us will have virtual reality gadgets in our living room. So we will need those speeds. And finally, to ensure that by collaborating together, we will create this tremendous value that 5G will bring to the market, to the industry, and to the society at large. Thank you very much.